good morning students. So welcome to the class of physics. In the last class, what we were discussing about spherical mirrors, concave as well as convex mirror. So today we are going to see how they look like. Before that, I'll ask you a question. Can we say this mirror a spherical mirror or it is a plane mirror? That we need to understand it. No doubt the shape of this mirror is spherical. The outer shape or the edge of the mirror is spherical. But in physics, can we say it a spherical mirror? Yes or no? Can we say it a spherical mirror? No, we cannot say. This is a plane mirror. Why this is called a plane mirror? Because whenever we are talking about the spherical mirror or plane mirror, we are considering the structure or the shape of this reflective part, not this outer edge. Right? No doubt it looks spherical in shape, but the reflecting part of this mirror, this reflecting part, this is planar or flat. That's why we can say this is a plane mirror, not a spherical mirror. Right? So plane mirror is okay. We have a flat or planar reflecting surface, but how the spherical mirror they look? So this is an example. Spherical mirror. I have taken a spoon. This is an example. Just see this person. Right. What we have seen, concave mirror, convex mirror is applied here. Suppose I am doing it like this. See, I am doing it like this. So I am looking my face from this side. So this side is reflecting, that side is polished. So polished with the waves indicated by some lines. This reflecting side, this is polished side. So what type of mirror this is? This is your convex mirror. So if I am watching my face on this side of this one, this is called your convex mirror. Right? Just I am doing like this. This time what is happening? If I do like this, I am seeing my face from this one. So this is your reflecting part, that one is your polished part. Or reflecting side, polished side. So first case what we are seeing like this is your convex mirror, and this one is your concave mirror. So in case of convex mirror, I am able to see an erect image of myself. I can see my image here. This image is erect. If the object is like this, we can see the image like this. No change, erect. But in case of concave mirror, if I am seeing like this is concave mirror, I am able to see the inverted image of myself. Inverted image. It means if the object is like this, we can see the image like this. Right, so this is all about spherical mirror. This is an example of convex mirror, and this is an example of concave mirror. Right, so these are all about convex mirror and concave mirror. Next we shall come to the topic few basic terms related to spherical mirror. What are those terms are there? For example, while studying in biology, human body, we have different parts like eye, ear, nose, mouth, and all those things. Like that, if we are going to study the spherical mirrors, we have some different parts, and their respective names are there. So we have to know each and every term related to your spherical mirror. So now we are going to discuss some basic terms that are there in spherical mirrors. few basic terms related to spherical mirrors. In our course, we have 7 different terms. Right. First one is your aperture. Second one is your pole. Third one is your center of curvature. Fourth one is your radius of curvature. Fifth one is your principal axis. Sixth one is your focus or focus point, you can say, and last one is your focal length. So we are going to know each and every term. Before that, we need to draw a diagram for convex lens and one diagram for concave. One diagram for concave mirror, one diagram for convex mirror. So see, this is a convex mirror, this is a concave mirror. In both the cases, this is principal axis, this is P, P stands for pole, then R, radius of curvature, C, center of curvature. Same thing is happening here. The only difference in between these two figures are that difference is that here we have a convex mirror, here we have a concave mirror. Now we shall discuss each and every term for both of these cases. First one, first your term, that is your aperture. What is aperture? Aperture is nothing but the length of the reflecting surface of the mirror is called your aperture. So here, which one is the length of the reflecting surface? See, if this is the mirror, then this is the length of the reflecting surface. Here in this case, this is the length of the reflecting surface. So the length of the reflecting surface of the mirror is called aperture. If we are keeping a mirror of this size, then this is the length of the reflecting surface. It means this is the aperture of the mirror. If we are keeping a mirror of this size, then what will happen? This is the length of the reflecting surface. So the length of the reflecting surface, that is called your aperture. In first case, this is the length, or you can say this is the aperture. In second case, this is the length, or this is the aperture of the mirror. So aperture is nothing but the length of the reflecting surface of the mirror is called aperture. This is the first one. Then comes second one, pole. Shortly it is denoted by a letter, capital letter P. So see where P is situated, where pole is situated. Here, the center of the reflecting surface. Here the center of the reflecting surface. So pole is nothing but it is the center of the reflecting surface. From pole, the length, this one upward is equal to the length downward, right? So the total length is called your aperture, and the midpoint of the total length, that is called your pole, right? In this case, see, this is P, pole. Here the total length is called your aperture, and the midpoint is called your pole. So pole is nothing but the midpoint of the reflecting surface of the mirror, that may be convex or that may be concave. The midpoint of the reflecting surface, or we can say the center of the reflecting surface, is called pole. So what is the basic difference in between aperture and pole? What is the basic difference? The total length is called aperture. The total length of the reflecting surface is called aperture, but the center of the reflecting surface is called your pole. So first aperture, then second one is your pole, then third one. Third one is your center of curvature. Center of curvature. So what is center of curvature? Earlier I had told you, whenever we are drawing a mirror, suppose the mirror, this mirror, what we are doing? The mirror, it is a part of a sphere. In this mirror, I can draw a sphere like this, right? If this is a mirror, I can draw a sphere like this. So what is happening? See here, this is a convex mirror. By applying this mirror, we can draw a sphere, and the sphere will be like this. The sphere will be like this. In case of convex mirror, we can draw like this. So whenever we are having a mirror of some certain length, we can draw a sphere, because the mirror itself is a part of a sphere, part of a hollow glass sphere, and the center is called the center of curvature. See, if this is a mirror, suppose this mirror I am taking like this. So by using this mirror, we can draw a sphere, and the center of the sphere, this center is called your center of curvature. Did you understand or not? By taking the mirror, we have to draw a sphere, because the mirror itself is part of a sphere. So the center of the sphere of which mirror forms a part is called your center of curvature. Center of curvature, nothing but it is the center. Center of curvature. Which curvature? This one, the sphere that we are taking by applying this length of the mirror. So in this case, if this is the mirror, we can draw a circle like this, and this center is called a center of curvature. Right. In this case, we can draw a circle like this by applying this mirror, and the center of this circle is called a center of curvature. So you get what is center of curvature. Then next one, radius of curvature. Radius of curvature is nothing but the distance between pole and the center of curvature is called radius of curvature. It is denoted by capital letter R. So PC is equal to R. If we are joining the 2 points, which 2 points? Pole and center of curvature. Here This is radius of curvature. We are joining pole and center of curvature. Here we are joining pole and center of curvature. If we are joining pole and center of curvature, then that distance is known as your radius of curvature. Then fifth one, principal axis. This is principal axis. This is principal axis. So what is principal axis? Principal axis is a horizontal axis, not a vertical axis. So if it will be like this, we can say it as vertical. This is horizontal. So principal axis is a horizontal axis which passes through the pole of the mirror. In this case also it is passing through the pole. See, it is passing through the pole. Here also it is passing through the pole. So principal axis is the horizontal axis which is passing through the pole. It is satisfying two conditions. It has to satisfy two conditions. First, the two conditions are: first, the principal axis it has to pass through pole of the mirror. Second one is it has to be perpendicular to the plane of the reflecting surface. See, in this case, principal axis is passing through the pole of the mirror. Here also principal axis is passing through the pole of the mirror, and in both the cases, this axis is perpendicular to the plane of the mirror. Suppose this is the mirror. We cannot say this is a principal axis. Why? Because no doubt it can be passing through the pole of the mirror, but this is not perpendicular to the plane of the mirror. So to become a principal axis, it has to pass through the pole of the mirror, and it has to be perpendicular towards the plane of the mirror. So see this one. We can say this is a principal axis because this is passing through the pole of the mirror and this is perpendicular to the surface of the reflecting surface of the mirror. So principal axis part it is doing two things. First thing, it is passing through the pole of the mirror. Second thing, it is perpendicular to the plane of the mirror. Right. So this is all about principal axis. It is passing through the pole as well as it is perpendicular to the plane of the reflecting surface of the mirror. Then sixth one. Sixth one is your focus. Focus, or we can denote it F. What is focus? Focus is a point at which the rays of light coming parallel to principal axis. See, in this case, I have told you while differentiating convex and concave mirror. What is happening in case of suppose convex mirror? What is happening in case of convex mirror? It is a diverging mirror. The light will be going like this. So they were not meeting directly. Then what to do? You have to extend them in backward direction. If you are extending it to backward direction, then only they will meet at a point that is called your F or focus. I have told you earlier. So focus is nothing but it is a point on principal axis. This is principal axis. In the focus, it has to be situated at the principal axis. So focus is a point situated on the principal axis at which the ray of light coming parallel to principal axis. Those rays of light which are coming parallel to principal axis, they will meet at that point. At which point they will meet? They will meet at focus. There are two chances. They may meet directly or they appear to meet. It means they won't meet directly. We have to extend them in backward direction. What is happening in this case? In this case, this ray of light, they are not meeting directly. They are going like this. But what we are doing, we have to extend them in backward direction so that they can meet, and they are meeting at a point F. But in case of concave mirror, if these are the ray of light coming, then they are meeting at a point directly, and this one is called your focus. This is focus in case of convex mirror, and this is in case of concave mirror. In case of convex mirror, they are not meeting directly, they are going like this. They are going like this. What we are doing? We are extending them in backward direction. If we will extend, they will meet at a point here. This is called focus. But in case of concave mirror, these are the ray of light coming parallel to principal axis. They are incident on the plane of the mirror. After reflection, what is happening? They are meeting at a point here. They are directly meeting where they are appear to be. They are actually not meeting. They are extending them in backward direction. But in this case, they are meeting directly. So what is focus? Focus, it is a point on principal axis at which the ray of light coming parallel to principal axis, they meet directly or they are appearing to meet. Right, so this is all about focus. Whatever rays of light that are coming parallel to principal axis, after reflection from the mirror, they will meet at a point, and that point is called your focus. In case of concave mirror, they are meeting directly. In case of convex mirror, they are not meeting directly. We have to meet them by extending them in backward direction. This is all about focus. Then last one, focal length. Focus, 6-point focus, you can denote it by capital F. Then focal length, small f. What is focal length? Focal length is nothing but the length between the pole and the focus. This is called your focal length. So focal length is nothing but the distance between the pole and the focus. PF is equal to small f. So the distance between pole, what is pole? Pole is nothing but the center of the reflecting surface. This is the center of the reflecting surface of the mirror. And what is focus? Focus, it is a point on principal axis at which the ray of light coming parallel to principal axis, they are meeting at point F, or that is called your focus. So the distance between pole and focus is known as your focal length, or F. There may be questions that sometimes it comes, what is the relation between F, focal length, and radius of curvature R? So the relation is that focal length is equal to radius of curvature by 2. Whatever will be the length of the radius of curvature, suppose radius of curvature is x, so focal length is equal to x by 2. Focal length is nothing but half of the radius of curvature, or we can write that f is equal to r by 2, or r is equal to 2 into f. So 2 into length of focal length is equal to your radius of curvature, right? So these are the terms that are related to a spherical mirror. First one, again we have to discuss it once again. First one is your what? Aperture. What is aperture? If this is a mirror, this is the reflecting side, this is the polished side, then what is aperture? First one, aperture, the total length of the reflecting surface. The total length, this is the length, the total length of the reflecting surface is called your aperture. Then second one is your pole. Pole is nothing but the midpoint of the reflecting surface, P. The midpoint of the reflecting surface is your pole. Then third one, radius of curvature. What is radius of curvature? By the help of this mirror, if you are drawing a sphere, then the center of that sphere, this is called your center of curvature. Then what is radius of curvature? Radius of curvature is nothing but the distance between pole and center of curvature. If you are connecting P and C, then it will be your radius of curvature R. Then what is principal axis? Principal axis, it is a horizontal axis which is passing through the pole of the mirror and perpendicular to the plane of the mirror. It has to pass through the pole P as well as it has to be perpendicular towards the plane of the mirror. Then sixth one is your focus. What is focus? Focus, it is a point on principal axis at which all the rays of light coming from the principal axis, they will, after reflection from the mirror, they have to meet at point F or focus. In case of convex mirror, they won't meet. We have to extend them in backward direction. Suppose this is convex mirror, they won't meet. What we have to do? We have to extend them to backward direction. But in case of concave mirror, they will directly meet at point F. Then last one is your focal length. Focal length is nothing but the distance between pole and F. P(F) is equal to small f. The distance between pole and the focus is known as the focal length. These are the 7 terms. Then lastly, what is the relation between R and F? R is equal to 2 into, right? Next class we shall discuss the other things.